So today's moral story is about a stone cutter, someone who cuts
Oh,
stones and rocks for a living.
Assalamualaikum.
And so this man, he lived in a small village, and in this village there was a lot of people, and he was very well respected. Every day he worked really hard, and he would cut through stones of different sizes, and the people would use these stones for different things. So for building houses, for using it for many different things. And even though it was a very simple job, he had peace in his life and he felt very happy and he didn't have many troubles in his life. He wasn't earning a lot of money, but he was earning enough to keep himself content. And then one day he saw this rich person walking past him, a man who was dressed in luxury. And then at that moment, he just had a wish and he thought, oh, I hope I was that man. I wish I was that man. If I was that man, my life would be so much easier. And without even realizing, he suddenly became this man. So his wish got granted quickly. And he was shocked because this wasn't something normal. So he lived as this person for the next few days. And then he came across a prince of the land. And then he wished that, oh, I wish that I could become this prince because this prince had a lot of power. And instantly he transformed into the prince. And now he felt a lot more happier than he was before. He thought, wow, I've become this prince. I'm someone who now has power. I can tell people what they want to do and people will respect me. So now he had a lot more power. And then the next day, when he was traveling outside, he was still the prince. He looked up and then he saw the sun, and the sun was shining really brightly. And he thought, wow, this sun is really, really powerful. I wish that I was the sun and had this same power. And instantly, he transformed and he became the sun. And he felt that his heat was going everywhere. And he felt that as a person, he had so much more power because now he was on top of everything else and he could see everything around him. And even though he became the sun, he then had a thought and he thought, I wish that I could become the wind because the wind has no limitations and it is completely free. And then he changed into the wind and his wish was granted. And even though he was the wind, he tried to move this rock that was in front of him and he was unable to move the rock because the rock was really strong. And then he thought, wow, I'm the wind, but this rock that's in front of me is even stronger than I am. So he wanted to become this rock. He transformed into the rock instantly. And then he thought, wow, now I've got more power than I've ever had. I'm really strong. I'm really powerful. But within a few seconds, he looked up and this axe came smashing down on top of him. And the axe was about to destroy everything in front of him. And then it's at that moment that he thought, I wish I was a woodcutter because the woodcutter was the man who cuts the rock. And instantly he transformed back to the woodcutter. And then he realized, I had all of these wishes and I wished for so many different things, but I was happy where I was, even though I didn't have a lot of money and I didn't have a lot of things in my life, I still had peace and happiness. And this is something that he realized is hard to get because even when he was the prince, he realized that although he had power, he didn't have many friends. So whichever thing he became, there was always limitations and there was always things that he didn't have. And the moral of this story was that as simple as someone's life is, there's still happiness in this. And in life, we will sometimes find ourselves better than people at something, And people will always be better than us at something. So you'll be better at something than someone else, but someone else will be better than you at something as well. So it's a way to remind ourselves that despite what we don't have, we should be happy with what we have because other people don't have these things. And this man went through all of these different things that he wanted to become, and he didn't get the happiness that he wanted. And then he realized that what he had in the first place was far more valuable than everything he had. And that's the moral of today's story. So I hope we can take some benefit from it.
Jazakumullahu khairan, Mashoor. It was a nice story.
People.
And with this, we'll finish the story section session.